This is Memphis, Tennessee, July 7th, 2024. This robbery and attempted carjacking, it happens in the 5900 block of East Shelby Drive at about 9:30 p.m. The victim had gone inside to get some food and a drink. Was this a violent, dangerous area of Memphis? Yeah, it was. I don't think I can emphasize enough why I wouldn't want to go to a gas station convenience store after dark in a big city. Why? Well, there's a high probability when you walk out that door, there might be some wolves in the parking lot. Hey guys, retired Lieutenant Todd Heaton here with Humilitas First. Okay, let's break this down. First, I want to point out just how composed and relaxed the robbers are. Almost as if this was the 92nd time that they've done this. Now, they have knowledge that we can't possibly have without the full videotape. You know, like how long the victim's been inside the store. And most probably, since it's nighttime, they can just watch him through the windows. They can see him go over and grab a big gulp cup and start filling it up. Then they watch him walk over to the cashier to pay for his soda. This associate, this new getaway driver, gets out and watches while chowing down on some food. While the contact robber, he goes through his pre-robbery checklist. Hoodie up? Check. We'll see a car pass behind him, and then we'll see the driver turn around and take a look, see who it is. Make sure it's not the popo. That would suck. As the lookout sees that the victim is about to be exiting the store, leans in to tell the contact robber, hey, it's game time. Get that backpack on. It's time to go. And so he does. I'm guessing it went something like that. As the contact robber gets out with his stockless rifle, all the better to be able to conceal that firearm. The lookout walks around the car and hops into the driver's seat. This crew is efficient. As the victim is about to open his car door, he glances over and he sees the guy with the hood up just got out of the car with the rifle in his hands. That's not good. He immediately understands the situation and he begins backpedaling. He turns his head away and up as if, this is difficult to accept, but he's doing his best to fully comply. And most importantly, the bad guy is buying what he's selling. That's how I'm reading it. This is just one coach's opinion. He doesn't continuously stare at the robber's face, which could be perceived as both challenging and kind of a heads up that he's wanting to be a good witness, trying to remember details. He doesn't do that. But rest assured that he's both monitoring and measuring the robber with his peripheral vision. How do I know that? Well, you can look at his timing, which I'll get to in just a second, but his timing is awesome. So he casually backpedals back far enough that should the opportunity to run present itself, he doesn't have that big old car blocking his escape route. The victim, he's bladed his body with his strong side, his gun side, back away from the robber. That kind of visual obstruction, right? He offers the robber his left shorts pants pocket, in the same way that you might offer a vicious dog lunging towards you one of your forearms. The robber takes the bait and he enters into a transition. He has to look to put his hand inside that pocket. Just look at the timing. As the bad guy looks and reaches, the good guy simultaneously reaches for his pistol. He's got the timing dialed in. One problem is that it does seem to take him just a little bit too long to dig the firearm out of his right shorts pocket. At some point, the warning sirens are beginning to go off inside the bad guy's head. Here's another angle. We can see the bad guy reach into the victim's left pocket, where he immediately feels and retrieves the victim's cell phone. So he has to go through that focal shift. Yeah, it's brief, but it's still a focal shift. Then he gets a prize. Cell phone. That's one of the things I was looking for. Those can act as little distractions. Transitions, they're opportunities if you know how to fully exploit them. And our victim here, well, he understands how this works as demonstrated in his application. Once the phone is outside of his pocket, the robber focal shifts his attention back to the victim. Only he can answer the question what the tip-off was. But my best guess is that he senses some odd movements as we can see the victim trying to pull that firearm out of his right shorts pocket. Looks to me like he kind of leans in a little to his left and realizing that the train he's on is about to leave the tracks, as it were, while the robber drops the cell phone to the ground. At this point, the good guy's gun has been drawn. The bad guy has brought his right hand back to his rifle. in preparation for some trigger time. But the victim, he's able to get at least one shot off, maybe more. He's able to go first. According to police reports, the victim fired up to 6 shots at the suspect. The suspect retaliated, meaning he fired second, and fired as many as 25 shots at the victim. Depending which news reports you read, some said that there were no injuries at all. Then I found another source that said that the victim suffered a non-life-threatening injury to, quote, his behind. I'll put a link in the description to the full video. Either way, up until this point, nobody has been hit by any of the shots fired.
I mean, I see it pretty often. I go to the gas station, like guys get out their car with, the big choppers on them all the time. And it's just normal. It's pretty scary because, in most situations, the people shooting at each other, they don't hit each other.
So big choppas in normie speak means rifles.
Yeah, they don't have no aim.
Okay, let's do a little recap. If I'm walking out this convenience store, the first thing that's going to get my attention is the guy walking around the back of the car. What's his deal? What's in his hands, or where are his hands at? The robber, he's already stolen time, because when he gets out of the car with the gun in his hand, look at the distance. So he doesn't even need speed. He's leveraged surprise, and then he points the gun at the victim, which is violence of action. It's over, except it's not, because the victim understands this stuff. So he's going to use compliance to kind of set the stage in the bad guy's mind, setting those expectations. Oh, looks like another easy day. He's still holding on to his soda. Our innocent victim has been able to secure surprise, and he brings with him as much speed as is humanly possible. It looks to me like the contact robber is able to turn his head, perhaps just enough to get out of the line of fire. Take a look at our good guy's body mechanics when he speeds up. He's probably surprised that he actually missed, and now he's going to have to adapt and overcome, which means shooting while moving to expand distance and eventually committing by turning and sprinting away. This is just a guess, but at this distance, I'm thinking probably 8, maybe 9 out of 10 times. If you can get to this point in this kind of a fight, well, that shot fired at this distance is going to be a deadly threat stopper, meaning the bad guy is going to be immediately incapacitated. However, this video shows that there just aren't any guarantees. But when you're trying to go faster than the speed of life, well, stuff happens. Then you got to adapt and overcome. I'm not criticizing him. He executed a great plan. I'm simply acknowledging the reality that sometimes great plans fail, and then you've got to adapt and overcome. Obviously, our good guy continues shooting up until the point that he turns his back and commits to running away, commits to sprinting, which if you just click on the link in the description, you'll see the whole video. While the bad guy, on the other hand, he continues shooting as the victim makes haste to clear this area. If you're able to achieve the element of surprise, then you have to hit what you're shooting at. Don't miss. If you miss, then you're going to have to adapt and overcome. I'll share a couple of pithy sayings that I like that are related to this. Convenience is a siren song. Heed its warning. Well, what's a siren song? Well, it's used in reference to something that is appealing, but potentially harmful or dangerous. Like stopping in a high crime dangerous area after dark because you want to get a soda and something to eat. Another one I like, the path of least resistance is often the path to disaster.